Why, hello there. Welcome to YouTube and to my video. I, for quite a while now, have wanted to film and talk about my earlier experiences with ADHD and kind of what led up to me becoming diagnosed, me feeling like something's wrong here. And I decided to, because I just got home from work, so I still have my hair in my cute little braids, to also do a mukbang. So we're going to talk about ADHD while eating a prosciutto pizza. Look at that. Did not take a thumbnail picture, so I guess that's it right there. Yeah, because why not? I was like, it's still bright out. I got out at a decent time. And like the beginning of my channel, I was talking about cleaning my ADHD and like, I'm going to do like I still like follow everything that I said in that video is still like up to date. And, but I'm like, I also need to talk about how this all began with my mental instability issues. Which everybody has stuff going on up there that is not considered the norm. And I think talking about it more most certainly, I need to back up, most certainly helps to prevent, oh my God, I did not think this through at all. Another symptom of ADHD is just fucking go for it. But because, like, the more that we talk about these things, the less of a stigma, and the more people can get help, the more people can feel not crazy. You know, like, getting diagnosed was something that really, really helped me put a name to things and everything. So, before we start with that, this pizza right here, got it from work. It has ricotta, prosciutto, caramelized onions, a garlic cream sauce, and arugula. Look at that. Oh, she's beautiful. I'm so sorry if you hate mukbangs, but this is my life. I love to eat and talk and drink red wine. This is from Menage a Trois, the Silk Red Blend. Yes. My mom made me this glass. This is finally 21. Legal. So, let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. I don't really think as a young child I really showed and experienced ADHD issues. I was, for the most part, kind of like an only child because my sister is 9 years older than me. So she was at a completely different like level of life than when I was little. She obviously would remember more than me because I was still growing and everything. And so I really had to, not in a bad way, just kind of like learn to make myself busy because I didn't always have a friend. Not everybody always has a friend to hang out with. And eventually those friends became real meanies, bobinis. And, ooh, it's getting a little darker now. Son, where'd you go? And, so I had to learn how to deal with that. But being really young, like, I was able to play by myself. I still have a great imagination. A little salty, savory. And I would also spy on my neighbors. My mom caught me one time. She loves the story. I love the story. It's hilarious. I was spying on the neighbors through the little, like, hole in the fence. Like, I don't know, like 4 or 5. And they were having a picnic. And my mom goes, Janelle, or something like that. And I just look around like, Like, I wasn't doing anything. What are you talking about? And when I was, like, practically like a baby, if I did not want somebody to talk to me, if I was over it, I would just shut my eyes. Like, you are not there. Well, like, other than those, like, quirky little things that every kid has something weird about them, nothing really affected me negatively. And I was totally fine. Like, I had issues with math. I had, definitely, I remember, more specifically in the 4th grade, starting to really have problems with, like, spelling tests, not remembering which letters go where. And so, like, that's kind of, like, a part of it, too, because, like, you start having kind of, like, dyslexia. I don't know if I have dyslexia on its own, but kind of having ADHD kind of makes your brain move, like, real fast, so you're just like, oh, I don't know. And starting to cause the starting of self-doubt, of being like, I can't do this, you know, I've tried so many times, blah, blah, blah. And I think it really started then, doubting myself. Which stinks, but just a path you have to go down sometimes. So, get to middle school, and that still kind of started to continue. The middle school is when I started having bad grades and trouble with my grades. I was losing motivation. We had, our family, wow, getting real dark. Our family dynamic changed, like, real suddenly. And it was hard for me to process, because I do have an issue with, like, sudden change and things like that. And I didn't recognize, and other people didn't recognize, that I was having a real issue, even though, like, I was failing my literature class, and, like, I was having so many issues. And that was the 6th grade. Like, I tried to hide it really well. I was also having, kind of, like, a lot of issues, especially with keeping my room clean. Like, that was my, like, I just couldn't. Like, I was so spent from trying to focus at school that, like, when it came to myself and my room, it just went to shit. And that's obviously something that I've had to learn to adapt over the years. Adopt to new behaviors. New behaviors, if you couldn't hear me over my food. So, I kept having those issues. I have had countless, and I'm sure so many people, especially when you have ADHD, you can relate to this, underestimating how much time you need for a project, doing it the freaking last minute. And, like, I remember, like, my mom and my dad trying to help me, and, like, they were so good about helping me and stuff, but, like, I was also so unfortunately good at hiding my problems, and I still am. And so it's shocking for other people when they find out that I've been going through this for so long, and, like, this has been bothering me because I internalize a lot of it. I have had breakdowns, but we'll get to that. So then in high school, I vividly remember getting tests back in my English class, and her just being like, you got a C, and I was like, what did I do wrong? Like, I did all this work and I got a C. Like, you would think you would do so well. And she was like, you completely missed, like, what I was asking you. And it wasn't until she really explained it, like, everybody else was doing fine and I wasn't. It was hard for me to take tests. I got very distracted very easily. I would start thinking when people got up to hand their tests in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm only halfway done. I would look at other kids' tests, not to cheat, but to see where they are. Like, being like, am I going too slow? Should I be getting this more? Really comparing myself to other people. And it's just like this thing that I did. I didn't learn it from anywhere. It's just my brain. I highly recommend that. It was good. So that's, like, more issues. I graduated with a freaking 75 in band. I started to not really even give a shit anymore. I just couldn't. Because I never got the help in high school. It bled right the hell into college. And towards the end of high school, because I knew I was gonna be 18 my senior year in October. So at the beginning of the year, I talked to my counselor, like the one you just get assigned to in school, and she was no help. I came to her with concerns of having dyslexia. It's had a really bad transfer problem. Flipping numbers around, I would say things backwards. I would hear things backwards, and I would just be like, what? Wait, what did you say? And I would start, and I do have astigmatism too, and I would even just start writing. I would stutter on paper, and I would start writing what I just wrote all over again as if I forgot that I already wrote it. And she was like, oh, a lot of people go through that. Great. Can I have help? Do they have help? What do you want me to do now? I'm telling you, I have an issue. And then once I got into college, I took on way too much, didn't realize I was taking on too much. More family stuff happened, and I ended up failing out of college my first semester. I was devastated. I was like, what do I do? I went back, and I started to get the help that I needed. Which, it was at Southern New Hampshire University. They actually genuinely helped me. But I still need help. I'm still, I'll get to it. And they put me in, their program. And I had a tutor for math, which I really, really needed. And the effects of ADHD were really hitting me hard. Because in high school, because my circadian rhythm was messed up, I would go to bed late, not even thinking about it. I would just end up falling asleep way later. And I would sleep through 7 alarms, and being 40 minutes away from my school, and having to walk to class and park and all that stuff, I would miss class so much because I would feel so bad walking in 5 minutes late. Because I'm excuse me, I'm that is disrespectful to the teacher to be constantly late, blah, blah, blah. But it's also not fair to me to not give myself the time and the proper treatment of myself to make myself be able to get up early, to make sure I have my stuff together the day before, and, having that whole problem with planning. Awful. And so it just kept going and going. And luckily, somehow I got on the president's list when I came back to school and got help. Why are you slowing down? Weirdo. And that's just how it was. And then when I went back again, I started having more issues. And I had issues because I was having way, way too much soy. I was having soy about almost on the first piece. I was having soy about 3 times a day. Don't do that. I made myself so depressed from that. I got to the point where I haven't really talked about this, but I would hold my phone at night wondering if I need to call for help to get myself into a hospital, because I was I can't do this anymore. It was it makes me want to cry thinking about it and talking about it. But in that song Stitches by I'll be needing stitches, that song came on the car, and it just made me think of my depression. I just got into my garage, shut the garage door, holding on to the steering wheel, bawling my eyes out listening to that song, because I was like, what is going on? Because I was feeling so insane, because nothing in my life was wrong at the time. I wasn't going through anything. I was just overwhelmingly depressed, and then having all the other like stuff add on to it, bad, no good. And then I stopped having so much soy in November. December, fine. Like, still fucked up, but fine. And oh no, she went down to 15%. I mean 5%. Let me just check to see how much I got. Oh, I don't know. So yeah, let me kind of wrap this up. So this is all leading to me getting tested, and which I'll go more in depth in another video. First, a sip of wine. Okay. And so I finally was like, I need actual help. I need to go get tested. And I talked to my doctor, and they got me someone, and I think I might actually just stop it here. But that's what all led up to it. I was feeling like I could not do anything right. I was always going to fail. I will never get over this rat race, and that I don't have good planning skills. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I could not focus on the positive. And it was weird because I am a happy person, but in my mind, like, it was just going on and on and on. And it's really sad. And getting help was the best thing I've ever done. Am I still struggling? Yes. But I want to talk in the next video, which I'll do soon. The process of getting diagnosed. Because what has followed from that, getting diagnosed, I had to deal a lot with medication changes. Last December, I found out my family is falling apart, and that really threw me off the deep end. And I was done having mental breakdowns consistently. Every year I was having a mental breakdown while I was in college. And I was like, I can't live like this. I cannot live like this. I'm either going to get help or I can't live like this. And it's so sad. But I didn't ever really want to end my life, but it's just like anybody that knows, they know how it feels to just feel hopeless, and it sucks when you have so much support around you, but your mind is so negative. Awful. So I want to end this by saying, recognize in yourself things that you don't like in a positive way, though. Go, how can I fix that? How can I improve myself? Because being on the other side of getting diagnosed, I'm still struggling, but I am struggling with a much more stable mind. I have a direction now. I may not have a direction in my life, but I know how to fix this stuff. I know what I need to do. I'm much more aware. I've grown up more. And just take your time. Take your time to really know yourself, and it's huge. And I promise it's going to be amazing. So cheers to that. I finished almost a whole slice. This is the worst mukbang ever, but what are you going to do? All right, my phone's going to die soon, which I film all my videos on. So I'm going to close this, watch some YouTube, and do some productive things later. So get help, love yourself, and I love you and believe in you. The story continues. Bye.